guys, it's Victoria, and today I'm bringing you some fall releases that piqued my interest. I'm not really buying books right now. I'm trying to just read the ones I have because I have something like 90 books that I own that I haven't read yet. So I'm not probably going to be purchasing these. Maybe I will venture to my library and try them out. But nonetheless, I wanted to share them with you in case you weren't aware of some of these new releases. So without further ado, here are some new releases coming up in the fall that I'm excited about. The first one that I would like to talk about is Bridge of Clay by Markus Zusak. I actually haven't even read The Book Thief yet. I have it sitting right here on my shelf. I'm gonna get to it in September, I've decided. Not that they're related or anything, they're completely separate stories, but I would like to at least have read one of his really popular works before I get to Bridge of Clay. There's not a whole lot of details out there about this book yet. All we know really about the synopsis is there is a missing father, there are 5 brothers, and somehow these 5 brothers discover the secret behind their missing father and maybe how he went missing, or I'm not sure. So if I really like The Book Thief after I read it in September, then I will definitely be picking up Bridge of Clay. The release date for Bridge of Clay is October 9th. The next book that I'm excited about reading is Dry by Neal Shusterman and Jarrod Shusterman. Apparently this one also already has a movie deal all set up. This story centers around the drought, or as everyone calls it, the tap out. And basically what happens is in this world, water completely runs out. And what I am assuming is that it becomes a war zone of sorts, and it's kind of every man for himself. And it's a speculation of the question, what would happen if we run out of water? As a native Californian, I'm definitely interested in that topic because obviously California is one of the states that has been in a drought for a very long time. And it honestly feels like sometimes we won't ever get out of it, and that one day we are literally going to run out of water. Who knows? So yeah, it sounds like a thriller of sorts, and I'm looking forward to picking up this one soon. The next book that I'm very excited about is Killing Commendatore by Haruki Murakami. I'm a Murakami fan, and I've read 3 of his books now. I have literally no idea what this book is about, but if Haruki Murakami wrote it, I am going to be getting it. From what I understand, there's a little bit of a Great Gatsby retelling of sorts. Don't quote me on that, but I know the Great Gatsby is at least alluded to. Maybe a retelling? I'm not sure. I know this has already been released in, I think the United Kingdom, possibly. But in the US, the release date for this book will be October 9th. This next one, I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it yet. And it doesn't have super high reviews on Goodreads as far as like people who have already read the arc. And that would be The Sisters of the Winter Wood by Rena Rossner. In this book, we follow 2 sisters named Liba and Laya, who I believe are Jewish. Their parents travel away to visit their dying grandfather, and the girls are left behind alone in the woods where they live. One of the sisters learns that some of their family members can transform into animals. And apparently she keeps this information away from her other sister, Laya. A troop of mysterious men roll into town while their parents are away, and Laya falls under a spell under these men. I'm not totally sure if this book is going to be great because some of the reviews that I've read online are so-so, but I'm always down for a good fairy tale kind of situation, set in the woods, 2 sisters. It sounds interesting. The release date for this one is going to be September 25th. The next book I'm very, very, very excited about. This is So Far So Good by Ursula K. Le Guin. As some of you might know, Ursula recently passed away, so this is a collection of her poetry, I believe, that's being published posthumously. I'm a big fan of her work. I've read The Wizard of Earthsea and really enjoyed that. I really need to get to more of her work, so perhaps I will be picking this up very, very soon. The release date for So Far So Good is going to be October 2nd. Next up, we have What If This Were Enough by Heather, how do I say this name? Havrilesky. Heather Havrilesky. There we go. This is a collection of essays that follows the topic of life and society and how society brings things to us that are toxic and how we don't need these things. Heather encourages the reader to embrace the flaws of life and emphasizes the importance of finding miracles within the mundane of everyday life. I don't really know anything about this author, but when I saw it, it just sounded like something that I would like to pick up. The release date for this book is also October 2nd. Man, October is going to be a busy month for books. The next new release that I would like to talk about is Demon Voices by Phillip Pullman. This is also a collection of essays on storytelling and perhaps about his writing process. I know he's a very famous author and a lot of people probably would love some insight into his process and his creations. I'm not a writer myself, but I'm very interested in the creative process in general, and I'm fascinated to read about how other people in any kind of genre, whether it's books or music or film, I'm fascinated by what goes through people's minds as they are creating what they do. The US release date for Demon Voices is October 26th. The next book that I would like to talk about I think is already out. I think it came out August 14th, and it is called Reader Come Home, The Fate of the Reading Brain in a Digital World by Maryanne Wolf. As a teacher myself, I'm very interested in any kind of research on how our brain learns how to read and also how screens affect our brain while we're reading. I tend to read a lot on screens. You know, I'm reading books on my phone, I'm reading on my computer a lot. Screens have become a way of life for us, and it's going to be very interesting to me, I think, to read about, does it have any negative impacts on our brain? Does it have positive impacts on our brain? I don't know. I've heard research that says we read faster when we're reading online, but also that we're not processing things as well as when we're reading them on paper. I will be very interested to see what Maryanne has to say about this. The next book I'd like to talk about is Melmoth by Sarah Perry. The Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry is also on my TBR shelf, and I will get to it before the end of this year. I promise. And then hopefully I will get to Melmoth. Maybe next year, probably. This book has a release date of October 16th. And finally, the 10th book on my list is going to be A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Taherah Mafi. This book has a release date of October 16th as well, and it follows a young Muslim teen a year after 9/11. Let me know down in the comments if any of these books are exciting to you. What are you looking forward to? Are there any books that I did not mention that you were very excited about? Let me know down in the comments, and we can be excited about books together. Hello, kitty. Can you see my kitty? She just jumped here. Keep reading great books, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.